that it costs to sit up here. There's 1,000 of you. I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. We all gonna leave together. Y'all ain't going no place but to the restaurant. There's 1,000 of you tonight, and those that are watching, it's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight.
Y'all, the Saints are cutting up, and Marvin Sapp might be trading his choir robe for a set of cuffs. Word is, the feds are circling him for fraud, and to make it worse, the IRS might be coming in right behind them. Pretty sure he regrets locking down that church last week. Here's what happened. Marvin made waves after demanding $40,000 from his churchgoers on the spot. That move grabbed federal attention, and now whispers are swirling about some shady dealings on the low. Was Uncle Marvin dipping into church money? And what's this talk about tax trouble? This tea's piping hot and heaven sent. Let's unpack it. Gospel star Marvin Sapp didn't go viral for a hit song. This time, it was for what folks are calling a holy hustle.
Made it, and best in you was caught on.
At the PAW convention in Baltimore, he had the ushers lock the church doors, literally sealing people inside mid-service. Why? Because no one was leaving until they scraped up that $40,000. Once the clip hit social media, folks went wild, dragging Marvin and the whole church for what looked like a religious hostage situation. But wait, it got even crazier. He didn't just lock the doors. He put a price tag on walking out. He told the crowd if everyone chipped in $20, the doors would open and they could leave. And this wasn't some small gathering. We're talking about 2,000 people, both in person and online. He stood firm, no exit until that $40,000 came in.
For at least 1,000 of you in the building. And this is simple. I'm not going to challenge you the way Bishop did. But I know that there's 1,000 individuals under the sound of my voice that can do what I'm about to challenge you all to do. This is simple. 1,000 people giving what I'm about to challenge will be $20,000. 1,000 people giving what I'm about to challenge you all to do will be $20,000.
And just when you thought it was over, he turned to the pastors in the building and upped the ante. They weren't off the hook. They were asked to drop $100 each, because according to Marvin, it costs to sit on the altar. With the way he was laying it out, you'd think this was some exclusive club, not a church service.
Of us who are on the dais, I'm taking you higher, so put it back. I'm a strong believer that leaders lead not only in time, not only in talent, but also in treasure. Leaders lead in time, talent, and treasure. I was taught a long time ago that it costs to sit up here.
But in the video,
Later on, Marvin explained that, just like people in biblical times offered currency as sacrifice to God, he was asking his members to do the same, since dollars are today's offering. He said $20 per person was all it took to reach the goal, and sure, I get what he meant, but imagine how those 2,000 folks felt, online and in person. The whole thing felt more like a money grab than a worship moment. Asking for donations is normal, but this felt a lot more like business than blessings. So as Marvin wrapped things up, getting ready to let folks go, he suddenly told everyone to hold tight. No one could leave until the whole crowd exited together. And here's the wild part. He told everyone to come forward and drop off that $20 before the doors were unlocked. We didn't catch what went down in the crowd, but reports say Marvin spotted a few people trying to dip out, clearly not trying to get played. That's when he got fired up and said his now viral line, instructing ushers to shut the doors. He insisted it wasn't a big ask, and made it plain. No one's leaving till the cash hits the front. He said giving is a form of worship, and no one should walk out without giving something.
That it costs to sit up here. There's 1,000 of you. I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. We all gonna leave together. Y'all ain't going no place but to the restaurant. There's 1,000 of you tonight, and those that are watching, it's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight.
But if you thought Marvin went too far, just wait. Another preacher at the same event took it even further. Before Marvin even touched the mic, this bishop got up and started straight up auctioning blessings. He told the audience 12 people needed to give $800 for a new beginning. Then he called out 25 more to donate $500 each for closure. He said God told him those folks needed healing, but only after they sent that money via Venmo. Yup, you heard right. Venmo. Selling blessings in real time.
A business.
God told me, he said, there is a new beginning for some folks. So I wrote my check for $800. And the Lord told me, challenge 12 people to bring $800. Any of you on the floor, you want to come, I want you to put it in my hand. I'm at 5, I need 7 more. There's one down here, Bishop Martin. So I need 4 more. So tonight when I began to ask the Lord, he said, tell the folks that want some closure on some situations, when they write their checks and when they give tonight, write closure. And he said, the same closure that I gave you, I'm going to give to them. There are 25 of you that will bring a check for $500 today.
This bishop was out here shouting, $500 tonight. You can't tell me they weren't working towards some kind of target, because clearly, Marvin wasn't the only one pulling off a sacred hustle. Once the footage hit the internet, it was chaos. Opinions flew from every direction. People slammed Marvin, saying he was masking greed as worship, using his position to trap the crowd and pressure them for cash. Others said this kind of thing is exactly why they're distancing themselves from the church, doubting the intentions of these so-called spiritual leaders. Things spiraled quickly. Some defended Marvin. Others dragged him hard, but seeing the storm roll in, Marvin knew he had to step in and do some damage control. With the backlash growing fast, he decided it was time to speak up. In case you didn't know, Marvin Sapp is the lead pastor at the Chosen Vessel Church in Texas. But this drama? Yeah, it's not doing the church any good. Wouldn't be shocked if folks started walking away after this fiasco. So naturally, Marvin wasn't about to let his name take a total dive. He jumped on Facebook to explain, saying it was never his goal to make people feel forced or trapped. It was clear he was trying to do some cleanup. But once something's viral, that stain is hard to scrub out.
Recently, a clip has gone viral of me challenging 2,000 individuals, virtually and in person, to plant a seed of $20 during an international gathering held at a convention center with over 4,000 people in attendance that evening, plus virtual viewers. In that same moment, I also challenged leadership to lead by example by sowing $100. That evening, I personally gave much more. Some have taken issue with the particular moment when I instructed the ushers rather firmly to close the doors during the offering. To those unfamiliar with the church context or who may not regularly attend worship gatherings, this has been misinterpreted.
He claimed he was simply creating a safe environment for people to give their offerings.
Finances are being received in any worship gathering. It is one of the most vulnerable and exposed times for both the finance and security teams. Movement during this sacred exchange can be distracting and at times even risky. My directive was not about control. It was about creating a safe, focused, and reverent environment for those choosing to give and for those handling the resources. Unfortunately, in this social media age, snippets are easily shared without context and assumptions are quickly made without understanding the
He pointed to scripture to justify his action.
Allow me to give you some biblical context, not opinion, not tradition, but scripture. In 1 Chronicles 29, we find a powerful moment where David, preparing for the building of the temple, challenges the people to give. He starts by giving of his own treasure over and above what he had already set aside. Then he calls on the leaders to do the same. What happened next? The people gave willingly and generously. In fact, they gave so much that a record was kept of each gift, and ultimately David had to tell the people people to stop giving because the need had been exceeded. So when someone challenges people to give a specific amount, it is not unbiblical. It is not manipulation. It is in order. It is consistent with Scripture. So yes, you saw a moment, but I invite you to understand the movement.
But honestly, it didn't matter how well Marvin Sapp tried to explain it. Folks online weren't having it. They dragged him with no mercy. Some went straight for the jugular, telling him to quit disrespecting the church and using God's name to pull a fast one on people. The criticism was intense, and no amount of cleanup could undo the fact that the video had already gone viral and sparked a massive uproar. Sure, you can break down your reasoning, but once the internet latches on to something, it spreads like wildfire and is nearly impossible to contain. And the drama didn't end there, because now Marvin says the situation has turned dangerous. He told the Ricky Smiley Morning Show that he's allegedly received threats on his life and that this whole viral mess is taking a toll not only on him.
What has happened is people have taken clickbait and made something out of it that it isn't. And because of that, my church has been getting phone calls. People have called my church and cussed me out. My staff are afraid because I've received death threats over $20 and shut the door. People have come to our campus. They have come to my church to try to cause problems, issues, challenges.
But now, the streets are saying he's allegedly. Certain church members said the funds raised at that event weren't going to the ministry, but straight into Marvin's own account. Reports suggest that once people online started buzzing about the money possibly being misused, it caught the IRS's attention, and what they supposedly found? Some sketchy stuff that didn't quite add up. Now I need y'all to jump in, because this whole situation is too hot to ignore. It's a mix of facts and feelings. No matter how Marvin frames it or how urgent the financial need was, he still gave that bold shut the doors command and told people they couldn't leave without dropping $20 at the front. So let's break it down. Was Marvin out of line? And how do you feel about him using the Bible to defend his actions? Does that sit right with you? Some say he's bending Scripture to serve his own purpose. Others say he's just standing strong in his beliefs. I want to know where you stand, so hit the comments and tell me your thoughts.